Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of GIF Talks with Kerala Startup Mission. GIF Talks is a series of knowledge sessions where we navigate what it means to be a social entrepreneur today. So, in today's world that's rapidly changing, growing, and consuming, it's become an ever more pertinent question to ensure that we have the means to support and provide for our fellow Earthlings, human and otherwise, without upsetting the delicate natural balance that we've borrowed from future generations. With GIF Talks, we're going to be exploring how social development is moving from the activist end of the spectrum and evolving into a thriving ecosystem which incentivizes more and more people to create positive impact on their surroundings while being rewarded by society for the work that they're doing. Today on GIF Talks, we have Prateek Madhav, CEO and founder of SSTech Foundation. SSTech Foundation, over the last few years, has been working with over 11 startups and producing over 35 different assistive tech products. And combined, they've built an ecosystem which has reached out to 1.6 lakh people. And what's interesting, Prateek, about you is you've spent 18 years working in the IT industry, and then you made the switch to dedicate your life towards assistive technology. So can you tell us a little bit about what sparked that shift?
Well, Parag, thank you so much. Good morning to everyone, and thanks for inviting me. I spent so many years learning the corporate business, earning profit for the companies whom I worked for, connecting with so many phenomenal people, traveling around. And I realized all that has to be put to good use. So while there was a day job working for the corporates, last 10, 11 years also have been involvement in social sector, working with so many startups, so many social enterprises. My focus area has been in disability. And as they say, there has to be a calling. After 10, 11 years of dabbling with a day job and a night job, I started to switch in 2018. So I came out of my corporate role in 2018. I personally believe whatever we have learned, gathered over the years as a part of our education experience in corporate, we can put together to good use. We can use that to help a lot more people, and make an impact. So that's where we founded India's first ecosystem to help startups in disability tech, which is now called ATF. And we're very, very happy that every day I get to work with so many innovators. My days are so colorful. While I get to talk to startup, I get to talk to investors, get to talk to work with a lot of non-profits, government, and it's just phenomenal how everybody is now coming together to make larger impact on society. So yeah, that's my inspiration. That's everybody whom I work with. I feel very, very motivated, and I look forward to work with a lot more people.
Wonderful, Prateek, and we are glad that you found your calling here. And while we understand that social entrepreneurship is very mission driven, it can get very difficult, right? And that's the truth about it. And that's why we are here today to learn from you what are the hard things about building a social social enterprise. Over to you, Prateek.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, yes, it is hard, but it is a lot more fun. It's like the roller coaster ride we all have taken at some point, where initially when you begin, you're always that, I don't want to do this. But once you get onto it, you start having fun. And by the end of it, you say, I want to do it again. So I think that's how social entrepreneurship to me. But let me start by playing a video which has been my inspiration in many, many senses. Some of you might have seen that video. But I just want to play it, as we are together. Parag, can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Can you hear it well?
Yes, I think should be able to.
Can you hear it okay?
Yes, I can, certainly, yes, I can. Gee, I'm afraid to go on has turned into, yes, I can. Take a look, what do you see? 133 pounds of confidence in me. Got the feeling I can do anything. Yes, I can. Something that sings in my blood is telling me, yes, I can. I was just born today, I can go all the way, yes, I can. 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 Hey, yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can! Are you ready? I can climb Everest. Yes, I can. I can fight here all night and never rest. Yes, I can. I was just born today. I can go all the way. Yes,
I hope you enjoyed the video. This video, whenever I see it, I realize it means so many things to so many people. But for me, it's about enablement, it's about empowerment, it's about can do attitude, it's about don't let your environment, don't let your deficiencies drive you. You can still do it. If you take up a mission, uh, it's about every day pursuing it. It's about every day moving inch by inch, kilometer by kilometer. And it's all about, at the end of the day, having fun while doing it, right? So why so serious? I mean, look at all the guys. This is a Paralympic video which was released a few years back, and look at the faces of all these guys. They're having so much fun while they're going through the journey. Yeah. So the topic which I thought we will discuss and choose today is hard things about hard thing, because I'm sure a lot of you guys who are in the field with innovations, field doing startups, some of the non-profits, the journey is not so easy. I read this book by Ben Horowitz a few years back, and I realized how appropriate this topic is to the journey which some of us are living. Let's see what social entrepreneurship means. Because it means, again, there are so many definitions, there are so many lenses, there are so many angles you can look at. But essentially, we are talking about individuals, group of people, startups, innovators, entrepreneurs coming together to solve problems which are social, cultural, environmental. Some of the problems haven't been solved ever. So I'm so excited to work with so many of them, where some of the problems society has, and especially in the work area where I do, where I associated with disability, there are so many issues people with disability have, but those problems haven't been solved ever. So what a grand vision it is to really put together an innovation to solve that. So that's really social entrepreneurship. Let's go through the whole journey in terms of what a social entrepreneurship or a person who deals in these areas think about, right? So to me, it's about economic intelligence. It's about different way of looking at the problem. It's about finding a different solution and really rejecting what has been tried and tested in past. It's all about focusing on society, focusing on people, focusing on environment, focusing on mother nature. It also about taking the courage, and I have met so many young people who want to change the world with their ideas. It's so easy to for them to go and take up corporate jobs and live a very comfortable life, but they take this hard decision to be a social entrepreneur. They take this hard decision of pursuing the journey and the idea which they want to pursue and change the world. Also, it's all about really seeing the future. A lot of time you need to consult the future to change the present, and all these things about thinking the future, what those solutions can make or break. And it's taking the larger view, not only in the area and the society you are in, it's not only the state or the country you're in, but it is all about solving some of the problems for the world. Interestingly, there are 2 million people who are pursuing this journey in India, 20 lakh people, and it's no less, guys. Traditionally, on the left side, we have seen charity view, right? So we have taken a non-profit view where some of the organizations establish, they work on rehabilitation, they work on water sanitation, a lot of these issues of agriculture. But in the legal framework, they are called charity, and they depend on funding from individuals, donation from organization. There is a big, large kitty of CSR funding that's available to all of those NGOs. Traditional business, profit, profit, profit. I in my corporate life, I've worked with so many CFOs, and all they look for is that dollar or a rupee number. They don't just look beyond. So if you talk to them, which makes sense from a dollar rupee perspective, that's when they want to talk to you, right? So that's the traditional businesses. But then the thinking over the years has evolved. We have all of you guys would have heard of this 3P model, where it's not only the profits, but we are also talking about people. We are also thinking about planet, in terms of the environment and other things like that. The combination of traditional charity and traditional business is social enterprise. So what's so different? Number one, it's not charity. Number two, it can earn profit. Number three, it has to be self-sustaining. So you need to think, when you are a social enterprise or you want to really pursue a path to become a social enterprise, you need to think about profits. You need to think about revenue. It's okay to think about your beneficiaries as customers. It really depends on the business models you're going to pursue, business models you're going to follow. But all the profits you are earning, you generally invest in the same enterprise to grow it. Yeah. So it's a mission driven business in essence. Now, who's investing in this? There are so many people, and especially India now is an amazing, vibrant place where there are so many impact investors. There are a lot of large foundations who want to invest in social enterprise, because their mission is not only to earn profits and be sustainable, but also to really make an impact on the society. Traditionally, we're looking at, if you're a social enterprise, what are the levers, what are the pillars you want to go? One, funding. Without funding, I know a lot of people bootstrap, and it's a great way to do a startup. If you're an entrepreneur, or if you're a even early stage idea, if you have an idea and you are an innovator, to be an entrepreneur, sometime the way to do it is to invest your own money. But to grow, you need funding. So you need to talk to a lot of angel investors, seed investors. You got to talk to venture capital. And I think in our case of social entrepreneurship, the better word to use, or the better people to go to, are impact investors who are more aligned to the missions which we are pursuing. Second, quality of life. I think at the end of the day, not everything is commercial businesses. A lot of time we talk about basic elements of water, how do you really better recycle the water, and some of the innovative solution. Are there alternate ways of producing energy? Could be a use case in the field which I working. Problems of visual impairment, speech and hearing impairment, physical disability, and intellectual disability. There are so many phenomenal solutions who look at the quality of life, making them more educated, making their life, as being an employee better, more efficient. So in all, we are looking at human capital. We are taking a lens of profit earning society, profit earning enterprise, but also making impact on the profit, on the people. There's a lot of regulation receptivity. So when we look at social enterprises, there are many forms of non-profits or the for-profit organization that exist. Laws and legal frameworks are a little different, and we got to be just conscious of them as we take out the journey of social entrepreneurship. Look at the world. I mean, and this there's a lot of numbers in this slide, but let me read and tell you some of the significant ones. And after we go through this slide, you'll realize how exciting a journey of a social entrepreneurship. So social entrepreneurship is, it's not only in India but outside India as well. So this is a world view. We're talking about 3.2% of total adult population who have some or the other involvement in social purpose businesses. 3 in 50 people in US are involved. We are talking about organization where 50% of them are actually profit earning organizations. Yeah. And 26 or 20 26 to 30% of them have actually break even. So which means they are earning money, they are able to spend and take care of their organization, they are able to take care of their people, but also they're able to generate profits which they invest in their engineering, research, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And that's very, very encouraging. By definition, by design, we have seen social enterprises are more inclusive. So if you take a look at the commercial enterprises, only 8% of them actually include some of the minority population. But 31% of them are actually able to include people who are not included in the commercial or the whole profit earning businesses. And last but not the least, I had to tell you this is most exciting part, the graph on the right bottom part, which tells that it's a field where a lot of young people can make tremendous amount of difference. This graph totally looks different when you plot this for the traditional commercial businesses. That you will see a lot of people in 55, 60 and above leading those businesses. But social entrepreneurship is beautiful in a way that a lot of young people are coming up with ideas. They're being encouraged, invested in to take those ideas and make sustainable businesses. Yeah, so that's very, very encouraging as we understand. So what's happening in India? Like I said, there are 2 million social enterprises, which is 20 lakh enterprises or organizations. They are very, very young. So 57% of them are under 5-year-old. It's a good news, but not so good news as well, because I would be very curious to see how many of them, if you are talking 5 year, all of us together, getting together 5 years down the line, how many of them actually survive the whole grant and survive the hard journey, right? So this is something which we all need to see together. But why it is also very, very exciting in India, continue to exciting to be India, is again the number of people who are younger population, millennials, are really coming with ideas, and they are being trusted to change the world with those ideas. There are more women who are included in social enterprises in comparison to the traditional world. Yeah, and some of the areas where work is happening is skill development, which is probably the highest area. I mean, few years back, Government of India started a skilling ministry altogether, which has never happened in India before. But due to that, the focus on skill development has been really, really high, and this is probably reflected in the social enterprise landscape as well. A lot of education focused startups and ideas, agriculture, food and nutrition, tourism, and other areas of rehabilitation, justice, and all that, right? Essence Lot more young people are welcome. Essence that there's a lot of framework available, a lot of government available, there's a lot of funding available for you to pursue these, ideas in this field. Yeah. I think I'll probably skip the left part of it, but what are the legal frameworks which you can establish some of the social enterprises? So you could establish as a private limited company, a non-profit, which is a trust of the society. You can actually, if you're a single person, you can establish as a proprietorship. If you're few of you, you can do a partnership, a public limited company, Section 8 company. And I think if you guys are not aware of it, it is probably one of the best method in the recent years in terms of legal status of a company which you can pursue and establish your enterprise in. Although in this chart it only says 3%, my expectation is that in next few years this will become tenfold. What are the areas again? Employment, which is the skilling, health and well-being, social exclusion. It's not only social exclusion, but I've seen a lot of enterprises in financial exclusion as well, financial inclusion as well, where a lot of people from the rural areas are being trained in finance, and there are a lot of self-help groups who are coming up and setting up those social enterprises. They are the people who own those enterprises. They are the people who run those organizations, and there is a lot of focus on really making those organization SHGs financially viable. Yeah, a lot of work happening on water, environment, alternate energy, agriculture. Specifically, countries like us need a lot of work in the area of empowering women and education and so on and so forth. Right. Now, while there is good news, there's not so good news as well, and that's really the hard part of it. All I've spoken and shared with you guys, and you would know more points about it. Social entrepreneurship is really is the thing. It's a buzzword. Probably, some years back, 10 years back, if you are a social entrepreneur, no father will offer, will want to marry his daughter to you. But today, I can tell you that's all changing, which is a good news. On a lighter side, because social entrepreneurs are recognized as entrepreneurs like any other. There are also the people who are being recognized to bring new ideas. But on the left side is the whole data on the Indian startup ecosystem, which is actually growing phenomenally well. We're talking about 1,300 startups which were being added in 2019. I know 2020 has been a little bit of blip, but I would expect this number to pick up next year when things open up. I'll talk about unicorns, but look at the amount of funding we have been able to raise. It's just phenomenal, the kind of attention we are getting in terms of the investors from India and outside India as well. Today, by some count, we are 335 incubator and accelerators. So it's not only the individual or the startups who is changing the world. There is an ecosystem that is required around the startup or a social enterprise or a innovator to help that the idea grow. And incubator accelerators do that job of creating that whole framework, creating a resource pool to help idea grow. So it's look at the ecosystem which has come up so well in last 10 to 15 years for the commercial startup. But when I look at the social enterprises, I think we are all struggling because number one, while there is government policy for the startups and in general innovation ecosystem, there's no specific policies around social enterprises. It's so difficult. I mean, I've gone to so many people who potentially can fund some of these startups whom we work with, and I think they still unfortunately see the area which we work in as charity, which I try to explain it is not. And obviously, we do what we are doing what we do always the best. We are not talking to each other. We are all working in silos. So if I look at the government, they have phenomenal initiatives, but they don't understand the startup or the innovation ecosystem or the technology. We have non-profits who have traditional approaches. A lot of them have done phenomenal work, but they are not evolving. They are not really looking at the future and embracing, for example, technology, in the interventions they are making. We have a lot of corporates, and some of that tech corporates can use that tech in the use cases of education, disability, agriculture, but they have no clue that some of the tech can be used. So they are really unaware about the societal impact that some of the technologies can make. And we have universities who are phenomenal in terms of research, in terms of incubating ideas, but a lot of those ideas are pilots, and they never see the light of the day. They never really come out of in the field, and hence we are not really a coherent system like the other startup ecosystem. And obviously, countries as diverse as us, there are a lot of distribution challenges. Yeah. So what do we do? I'm sure there are many things which come to all of our mind. There are many initiatives. There is so much value which all of us can bring in. But here are three messages which I want to share and leave from this session. And I'll take few examples from my personal journey to give and share these messages. I think today, while the landscape is so wide, the opportunity is so wide, we got to play really bigger. And I read it somewhere. Don't major in minors. So don't keep looking at problems at a small, initiative. Really think and put a very large number on the wall. Really play bigger. And I'll give you an example. This is the picture of Indian blind cricket team. There was an organization in Delhi who used to manage Indian blind cricket, and then Samarthanam, who's an amazing non-profit based out of Bangalore, took up the whole metal of managing it. And 2012, we conducted world's first T20 World Cup for the blind. And as I know, we are all following IPL. I can tell you, there's a paddle cricket. I don't know if you have seen blind kids playing with white ball. 10 countries in the world play blind cricket. And in 2012, when we organized the World Cup, all these 10 countries participated. So England, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, West Indies, South Africa, New Zealand, and a couple of others. All these came. In fact, what you see in the picture is Mr. Modi congratulating the team because we won the World Cup in 2012, beating Pakistan in final. What a joy it is, right, for all of us. Now, all of you know the person on the left, which is, I think if I got to ask you a question, you're going to say, who doesn't know Mr. Dhoni, who has got us so much of fame and World Cup to India. But I don't know, if I got to ask you a question, who's the person on the right? And I have to tell you, the person on the right actually has more achievements in cricket than the person on the left. Person on the right is a person named Shekhar Naik. He's the former captain of Indian blind cricket team. He was born blind. There are around 15 members in the mother side who are born blind. Come from a very poor family. He lost both his parents when he was very small. He got admitted in a blind school in Bangalore. But what a journey Shekhar has had. He started playing blind cricket, got selected in Karnataka blind cricket team, got selected in national blind cricket team, and then went on to become the captain of our Indian team. He got us 2 World Cups, the 2012 World Cup, which I just spoke about, and the regular 40 over World Cup, which happened in Cape Town, South Africa in 2014. He is the highest run getter in all forms of cricket. 63 matches, 32 centuries, and 15 half centuries. Due to his achievements and contribution, he was given a Padma Shri award along with Mr. Virat Kohli in 2017. I'm sure everybody of you know that Virat Kohli got a Padma Shri award for his contribution of for in the cricket, but very few people know. In the same function, in the same event, Shekhar Naik also got the Padma Shri award. Now, what I'm telling you is, you got to dream big. You have to have a larger vision. You have to put big number on the wall, like Shekhar did. And I've been friends with him from last 10 to 12 years. I've seen his journey getting into the Indian team to what he does today, and it's phenomenal for me. Yeah, so that's one. Now we are in startup world. We are always fancied about this word called unicorn, and I'm sure all of you or most of you have heard it. If for the people who haven't heard this whole word called unicorn or a phenomena called unicorn, it really represent in a startup world an organization or a company which is less than 10-year old, but really valued at $1 billion. That's really is the definition of unicorn. A super unicorn, a company like Facebook is less than 10-year old, but imagine the kind of scale that company would have achieved, right? They are valued at $100 billion today, less than 10 years. We obviously are talking about a lot of unicorns in India. There are 300 unicorns in the world, but there are 24 unicorns in India as we speak. Now, I talk to entrepreneurs, and everybody wants to make his or her company to unicorn, which is a great aspiration. But I personally have an advice that forget unicorns. Really forget unicorns at the journey that you're in. Be a camel. And I know you might be smiling or laughing at these two pictures where left one is pretty and right one is not so pretty. But I have to tell you, if you were to really be successful as social entrepreneurs, develop qualities of a camel, because camel is resilient. Camel is very cautious. He uses the resources so wisely. And at a time like this, we are talking about COVID, you have to really make sure that your cash burn is less. You're focusing on connecting with consumers so that you don't lose your market. You're committed, which means don't leave your idea just because things are hard. And that's really what we're talking about, hard things. And I think Camel does it so well. So stay committed, be cautious, but have perseverance. There are always ups and downs in the journey of social entrepreneur. There are more ups and downs, but I have to tell you, journey is worth living for if you look from the lens of being in Camel. So that's my second message. The last message which I want to give you is the personal journey I have lived through ATF. And the message is really opportunities are endless. In last 10 to 11 years, I have traveled so many places in India. We are talking about a world population of 1 billion who have some or the other kind of disability. In India, there are 70 million people who have some or the other kind of disability. So we're talking about speech and hearing impairment, visual impairment, physical disability, intellectual disability, and many more forms of disability. But while we treat that as a problem, there are so many people in India who are creating solutions, innovations to solve those issues. In our network of ATF, we have around 400 startups and innovators. Like earlier Parag was saying, we have in those 400 startups, we have 2 batches of startups whom we have mentored in last couple of years. We have 11 of them, and realize the impact they're able to make. We are already impacting 1.6 lakh people with disability, and these are people not only in India, these are the people outside India as well. So opportunities are endless. Sitting here in Bangalore, sitting in second or third test towns, people are actually innovating solutions for people with disability, and those solutions are being sold in Australia, in UK, in Ghana, in South Africa. It's just brilliant when I think of the opportunity for all of you guys as well. Yeah. Some of the solutions, like ID, it has a solution for visual impairment people. It helps the person who has blindness or low vision with the navigation. So if I'm lost, and if I'm a person with visual impairment, it helps me guide to where I am. It helps me guide through what is near me, so near bus stand, nearest ATM, near restaurants. It also helps a lot of students in the studies. I had a junior RAM Calcutta, Suresh, who was using this application, and he went through the whole MBA education through this PDF reader. And that PDF reader is available in all Indian languages and around 12 to 14 foreign languages as well. C Sound Live, which is on the right bottom, is a innovation by a surgeon, a cochlear implant surgeon, where in India and some of the foreign countries as well, people who cannot hear won't speak. But this is an innovation where he's making a lot of kids who cannot hear speak, and what a phenomenal way, what a phenomenal innovation it is. So just to summarize, opportunities are endless, and I think as I see and work closely in the disability world, and with some of you guys, I see future is so bright for you guys. So it's never late to become what you might have been. Start today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prateek, for a very inciting presentation. And one thing I really wanted to point out is on one of your earlier slides, you've talked about how, when you talked about the 4 pillars, right? You'd mentioned how quality of life is one. I really like that because a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs throw away the quality of life and focus solely on the business. And a lot of them don't understand that you cannot pour from an empty cup, right? So you have to be well mentally and physically in order to be able to help other people. So kudos for mentioning that point. Now, going on to the questions, we have Ansi who wants to understand, being a social entrepreneur, what is the biggest challenge you have faced so far?
I think limited mindset. Like I said, you have to play bigger. A lot of time when you think of an idea, because you do not have resources, because you do not know so many people, because you do not have money to invest in, you limit your thoughts. So while it is important to work day by day, week by week to develop your ideas, I think vision, when you set up a vision for your enterprise, for your idea, you have to really think of a very large vision and keep pursuing that vision, because in the times when it is becoming difficult, I think that vision will sail you through. uh, I have met a lot of innovators in my journey in last 10, 11 years. I also want to tell you that while you think of a socially focused idea and want to develop it, a lot of people who are entrepreneur, who are innovators, so they are studying in the universities. They are very, tech savvy. So in our world of assistive tech, we only work with the technology enterprises who help people with disability. But a journey from being an innovator to an entrepreneur is quite a journey. Yeah. So while I can sit at my home and innovate in technology or a solution for people in social, which will make societal impact, I have to realize that my journey being an innovator is great, but I need many more resources to become an entrepreneur. So it could be help in it thinking about pricing, thinking about distribution, thinking about whom would you partner to pilot your solutions. It could be thinking about who will potentially invest in your business, who will potentially can help you technical guidance if you need one. How do you reach out to government, because government can put you at a pedestal which you can go everywhere, throughout the country. So you really need to think of those big ideas, but really plan your journey from innovator to an entrepreneur. Sometimes you are your own limitation, right? You put your own limitation in front of yourself, saying that you might be good in technology, but then why don't you hire engaged people, mentors, who there are plenty of mentors who can help you out, pro bono in your journey. Reach out, ask for help.
Thanks, Prateek. So, in one of your slides, it mentioned how social enterprises are a lot more inclusive on who they have on their team, right? So, why do you think that is? Why are social entrepreneurship enterprises more inclusive of various?
Sorry, Parag, I lost you for a little bit. Can you ask the question
Sure,
again?
sure. So, why do you think social enterprises are more inclusive?
I think by design, because we do not only have mission of earning profits. The purpose is also include more people. And I'll give you an example. All of the startups whom we mentor at ATF, they need to test the product. So they need to engage, hire go to communities who are communities of people with disability themselves. You can't innovate a solution and not consult a user and then bring out that solution. I can tell you, I'm sure in Kerala Startup Mission as well, in ATF as well, we have seen so many of solutions who are useless. They are brilliant solution. They are technologically so advanced, but they are useless because nobody thought of consulting users. So they're inclusive because number one, by design, they have to include people from the community. But second, I also realized that all the founders, all the entrepreneurs, all the innovators whom I meet, they could have been anywhere else. The fact that they are in this journey of social entrepreneurship are they're very sensitive people. It's not that education is not just enough. Intent is just not enough. Oh, I intend to be inclusive is not enough at all. I am so sensitive. Great, you are. I think who's not? But then you have to put that intent to the practice. And I think social enterprises are designed to be more inclusive, for all these reasons.
Thanks, Prateek. Now, Nikin Suprabha wants to know, what is your idea of social entrepreneurship that might help people affected by the COVID-19 pandemic?
Oh, there's so much work happening. Great question. Because the times we are talking, there are so many people doing so many things, and I'm not talking about the Bollywood stars doing stuff for which you and I read about. There is actually a lot of work happening on the ground. I'll give you examples again from my experience in the field we are in. To start with, there is a lot of COVID-related information that had to be, shared with people. Now, people who do not have disability have so many channels to read through. We are, in fact, flooded with information we don't want to read. But there is basic level of information in terms of the lockdown, in terms of quarantine, and in terms of the areas which are containment zones and all that. Now, who would tell all that information to people with visual impairment? So ID took up, ID, who's the startup whom we have mentored, they took up the challenge to use their app and technology to stream all that critical information to the world of visual impairment community. There is amazing startup called BleTech based out of Pune. They are focused on people with speech and hearing impairment. So they took up the similar mission to echo and communicate all that information which is available in all different forms to communicate and share with that. That's all pro bono. So there's a lot of work that's happening on the ground. In fact, COVID, I know it's difficult time for all of us, but as a social entrepreneur, it's an opportunity. There is always good in a bad. Now let's, as all of us together, can we find that good and create a business model, create an idea which will impact so many people. And now our market size is whole world. So if you create something in India, it's not an India specific problem. It's not a Bangalore specific problem. It's a problem which whole world is really battling with. So if you find a solution, you can change the flavor, but your solution can be sold or it can get implemented in the whole world. So it's a great opportunity.
Wonderful. We have a question from Thomas J. How do we connect social entrepreneurship to ecological entrepreneurship? Are they integrated in some way or the other?
See, ecological is one of the aspect of social entrepreneurship. Now, I am not the subject matter expert on ecological entrepreneurship, so I won't be able to give you a lot of insights into that. But it's about again thinking newer ways to solve the problem. I mean, one of the things which we are saying is our rivers are much cleaner these days, right? Because if you come to Bangalore, you would never find a better air quality. Delhi has become amazing. So I think all of those factors are playing well. But I think if we were to relate, the principles of social entrepreneurship are the same. It's not different at all. So focus on all three P's, focus on inclusion, involve more younger people, try to look at problems with a different angle. Sometimes less information is great information. Yeah, don't get influenced by the heavyweights. the so-called subject matter expert. In fact, if you don't listen to them, they may not be happy me saying, giving you this whole advice. But I found it so useful to not go to people who know a lot, because sometimes you get so much influenced by their ideas. So some of the principles I would assume would be the same, for each of the field, which we are in.
I think the hashtag world is healing is going to be around for a long time now.
Absolutely.
Okay. We have Dr. Rojit Girinjan who wants to know, how do you shortlist or, connect with investors who are focused on social enterprises, and how do you separate that from the pool of regular investors?
Sure. So, I mean, it's a something which you can read more about it as well. But I'll give you my experience. See, social enterprises traditionally were looked from a lens of charity, like I said earlier, right? So when you go to people who only have profit as their metrics to report, they may not be the best people to go to, and I don't blame them, because they have taken money from their LPs, right? And they have taken money from their own, their investors as well, right? And this, they have signed on the same paper which says, I will only, and I will only look at the profit as a metric. But there are whole suite of impact investors. In fact, there are billions of dollars in the world which are being available through foundations, through individuals, philanthropy. In India, you can look at Azim Premji Foundation, the Wadhwani Foundation. Obviously, there is a lot of investment going on in the health sector by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. There are so many other foundations who have put in their money to focus on social causes. So your selection, if you have 1 hour, whom would you talk to? I would advise you to talk to a impact fund than really going to a regular investor or a VC investor. Not that you cannot convince them, but the journey is much longer and much harder. And I have to tell you, some of the, I mean, depending on your legal status or the configuration of your enterprise, you can even go to the corporate social responsibility, CSR, because they can actually give money to law if you are a non-profit registered as a trust or a society. So there's a larger kitty of CSR money that's being available. There are a lot of government schemes which are available you can go to, but journey again is much longer, and it's a much difficult journey. If you want to look at quick, quick investment avenues, go to HNIs. There are a lot of philanthropists who have been there, done that, have earned their pot of gold, and they are coming back to society to create that impact. So the quickest and the best way, and there are so many large-hearted individuals I've found in last 10, 11 years who are open to not only give you money, but also through their expertise guide you throughout their journey. So they can be your real patrons, of your ideas to help you grow.
Thank you, Prateek. So, are you saying that this pool of people willing to invest in social enterprises is increasing? What has been your experience?
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. I mean, if this session was happening 10 years back, and if I would say to people that I would put business, technology, disability, and startup in one sentence, people would have laughed at me, saying that it's a, I was telling it to somebody that if whenever I used to speak and put all these four in one sentence, people used to say, are you crazy? It's a grammatical mistake you're making when you put startups, business, technology, and disability. But not anymore. Not anymore. People understand the field we are in. It's all increasing. Obviously, when you go to individuals and HNIs, that idea or the sector or the impact area has to appeal to them. So you can get more intelligent, more focused, more sharp in doing a research, in saying, hey, if your idea is a tech idea in a education field, there are a set of HNIs or foundation who have that focus. If your idea is in environment related, air related, or infrastructure related, there are a set of people who are interested in that. So do your research. It's like any other sales and marketing approach, where you do your research and find out and nail down the superset, but then a subset of people who are aligned to your cause. So I think that's something which you need to do before you start talking to people.
Understood. And I think it's also important that if you have a solid business model that actually generates revenue, I think your pool just widens. Even a regular investor not looking at social enterprises will be happy to take a look at your business. And
Sure.
yeah. And one more thing I observed from your presentation was most social entrepreneurs are between the ages of 25 and 55. So do you think this is a function of life experience, energy, and time?
Oh yeah, so true, right, Parag? Because today innovation is an age cannot be directly related, right? I mean, like I said earlier, if you have more experience, in some cases I've seen it probably proves counter to the innovation or the new thinking or new idea you have. And I think it is being proved in social entrepreneurship world. It has been proved time and again in startup world today, right? And that's where the whole ecosystem of startup is so vibrant. In fact, I had to tell you, the organizations and very large organization where I worked in, they are so scared of all the startups. They're probably not scared of this direct competitor who's as big as they are. They're actually scared of the street round the corner startup who can disrupt their whole business model, can go to their customer, do the work in 1/10 or 1/100th of the cost in a more innovative way. Yeah, so everybody is scared of young people, and everybody is actually very motivated to see young people working in this thing. Both are true, but I'm so encouraged to see that social entrepreneurship is no different. We have a lot of infusion of new ideas, fresh ideas, new thinking, and a lot of younger population coming in, and it's only going to increase. And as we build out this whole ecosystem for social entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Prateek. And on that note, we are going to end today's session of GIF Talks. Prateek, thank you so much for sparing time today and telling us your view on social entrepreneurship. We look forward to a lot of wonderful work coming out of SS Tech Foundation. We are definitely excited to see more of what you guys are going to be able to do over the next few years. So thank you, Prateek. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for inviting me. Thank you, Parag, for taking time, and thanks everyone for joining the session. Good luck.
Thanks, everyone. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Pradeep, once again, Tanuj here, and Parag for moderating the session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the participants who joined. We'll share the details and the link for you if you want to watch it later once again. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
Bye.